Welcome back to another episode of Oggcast. I'm Jamie Riddle and I'm joined by Nick Thompson and Johnny Summit. The first thing is boys, you guys have no mics. Stop making rattling, okay? Every time you touch the desk or put the beer down, I hear you. These boys cannot get one thing right. They haven't got mics. They've got nothing sorted for this weekend. We have spent a whole nother hour trying to get this stuff sorted, but we are here. We're here. How you guys boys? How you boys doing?
It was not my fault with the mics. I tried to, but I got caught up. It's been a busy week. So we'll get it for next week, I promise.
Can I just defend myself for a second? I'm disabled and I can't do literally anything for myself. So for me to be included in Nick's inability to do stuff,
You
I
have
should be.
one job. I agree with you. You are an amputee, and it's unfair to put you in this group. Nick, you had one job.
Amputee. He's still got his
what?
leg. I'm looking at it. I can still see it. No, but seriously,
Okay.
maybe it's my fault. I came with a backup plan, the AirPods, and they didn't work. So I acknowledge my fault. We'll have them for next week.
Thank you,
hopefully
Nick.
the phone mic does the job. But I'm good. I've had a nice week. It's great to be back with you. You've had a great week, mate. By the looks of it, happy birthday for Wednesday, I believe.
That's me, brother.
Oh!
Birthday boy. Yeah, dude. This the tagline of the show is boys, beers, banter, and some triathlon talk. And you'll notice this week, I've got nothing but a coffee in front of me. I am struggling, gents. I went out last night, and it's been a pretty rough morning to say the least. Like Springboks, the mighty Springboks played the Barbarians. We started drinking at around 12 midday, and we might have probably ended at about 1 a.m. drinking. And yeah, I woke up at 8 a.m. in Cape Town and I had to drive back here. Had the Frankfurt race on in the background, trying to prepare for this podcast. Wrote some notes down, was trying to get like my intro or my podcast voice out. I'm so slow today. It is crazy how slow alcohol makes you.
I mean, that sounds like a bit of a light one to me.
Yeah. Where was the rest of the night? 1 a.m.
What's a white what's a white one?
Quiet one? What did you even say?
I said a light one.
Light one.
Oh, light one?
Of course you sound
Yeah,
that.
the thing is, something that they don't know about South Africans is like, our clubs kind of close at 2 a.m.
Oh,
What
same here.
are we laughing at, boys?
No,
Yeah.
I can't. If it is captured on the mic, we're gonna have to restart. It's nothing to do with you.
Okay,
It's
thanks, brother.
cancelable stuff. No, but same here. How many places have we got that open past 2 a.m? None. Especially on a weekday. Oh no, wait, Saturday, yeah. But what about Wednesday night when it's 8 a.m. Perth, 8 a.m. Thursday morning, so 2 a.m. your time, and you're just chatting away? What birthday?
That was my birthday, boy. We went out for dinner. 1 turned into 2, turned into 3, and 3 was in a nightclub at like 3 a.m. downing brandy and cokes and Red Bull vodkas with literally just my girlfriend and her parents. It was nothing crazy, but there we were. So yeah, it's been a bit of a week for me, boys. I can't train yet, man. My feet are still too sore. Like I literally tried to train, and I haven't been able to train. Like I can cycle and I can swim, but I can't run.
Okay.
How are you?
Neither. I can't run, but different reason. And you?
I can't do all three.
But you did bench 100 kg, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't fully recover. I haven't fully recovered since Bussett.
That was just a half one.
I know. I was really unfit before that one.
I'm glad it was a good week, mate. I think honestly, you do one of two things after an Ironman. You either try and train through it, and you're going to get sick anyway for 4 weeks, or you just rest, enjoy yourself, and when you're ready to go. So I think.
But is going out rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rest for the
mind, right?
Yeah.
You need. Yeah.
No, boys, I'm hurting. I feel more fatigued after 2 weeks of doing nothing but having fun than training. And let's just hold up. Let's just reel this in. I've gone out twice. Like I'm all right, boys. Don't stress about me. I'm good.
I know.
But it is a topic, and it's a topic. Yeah, it's a topic that people want to know. Is like I find it very odd and very strange how so many triathletes don't juggle this. Like my friends, I saw all my friends from high school last night that I haven't seen in, bro, almost a year. And like, I don't know how people don't miss that connection with their mates and don't have that connection with their mates, because when I saw everyone last night, like it was so much fun to reconnect with them. And I feel like it's super important to have human connection. Like, of course you can have friends that like you want to go drink coffee with, and I don't know, like walk a mountain and watch a sunset, but sometimes there's just nothing better than cracking open a cold one and talking absolute garbage for like 3 hours. No?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do now.
So it's nice. Whenever someone asks me like what hobbies are you into other than triathlon, all I can think of is either summer, backyard cricket, and having some drinks with my friends. And look, maybe like you said last week on the pod, maybe that means you'll only ever be a little bit below the best in the world, but at least when you retire or in your journey, you've got some friends. Like, I mean, look at the engagement you get from your friends on your journey. And I suppose when I raced, I got all these random people and my mates on the live stream. Like,
that was actually me and all my bot accounts.
Yeah, Johnny and all these.
And I'll be honest, bro. There's a race going on Frankfurt. I got in the back now, and have you seen people are cheering for you, and you're not even racing, bro?
What? They're still
People are
no way.
me.
Comments saying Nick is still helping a 92-year-old in Cairns, and like they just keep they still going on.
This guys, I could be the new Chuck Norris. I'm the new Chuck Norris with triathlon. Do you get the Chuck Norris jokes over in South Africa? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not as much as Australia, but yeah.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
You know Chuck Norris.
Yeah, we know Chuck.
I don't know, but yeah, exactly. Like that's the truth. I think I'm sure the guys that win today, they got some good friends, but do they let their hair down and really get around the boys?
But Jamie, you got to admit, like racing ITU, we'd always, like in Europe, you'd always have a big bender afterwards. I mean, at least for me. Like,
yeah.
What was the biggest race?
It's definitely changed. The landscape is changing, and like I think even for me, like look, the viewers probably listening, like thinking, "Oh, boys, these guys are off their nutter." But we definitely when it's time to switch on, we switch on and we get into training. But like I do think there is this part that you need to have like this little like valve let loose, and as long as you're not doing anything too bad, it's a good way. But yeah, the landscape is changing in the short course. Like towards the end of my short course career, like it wasn't like it was back in 2018, where essentially after every race there was a party. It's kind of turned back a bit, and people are getting a lot more serious. And yeah, I think each to their own. Like I'm currently watching Christian Hogan absolutely tear this up 8 minutes ahead, which is insane. And like he's probably got different priorities in his life, and I mean maybe he does go on a bender, but like whatever he's doing, he's obviously a happy and strong athlete, so kudos to him or anyone else.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. I remember racing Frankfurt last year in the pouring rain, and he did the exact same thing, went off the front. So good to see him having a good race. But yeah, I mean to do that in a European Champs, you got to be pretty dedicated, and let's be honest, me or you breaking off 8 minutes halfway through the bike at a European Champs. After the last 2 weeks, we've had probably not, but we wouldn't have it any other way. What I was going to ask before was ITU circuit. Was it Tizzy you used to tell me had the after party?
Yeah,
was it Tizavaros?
That was what that I was told was the big one. But there was someone else. There was somewhere else that everyone used to rave about as well. Never got to rave that one.
Dizzy and Tizzy was a good one. Holton always got pretty good. There was a few good ones towards like my end of my short course and my end like a couple of years ago, 1 or 2 years ago. I was definitely I'm an all-in type of guy, so now I've managed to find a good balance. So like I don't go out a lot. I still enjoy my drinks, but I think I've been out maybe 2-3 times this year. But back then, like it could have been two to 3 times a week. So most of my short course races, I would always make a WhatsApp group. Like after we'd be in the heart of Egypt or Morocco, and I'd make a WhatsApp group and I'd make sure we get some boys. Sometimes I'd be the only one to show up, but like at least there was something, I guess. But the landscape has changed for sure, and I mean, I think for it's very individual. You just got to find what works for you, and again, like as long as you're getting the work done when you need to get the work done, I really don't think it's an issue. And I mean, it's my birthday. Come on, man.
Yeah, we'll give you a pass. Yeah. And I'm like thinking back
But I also went to the movies this week. Does anyone else like the movies?
I've not been to the cinema this week. Have you been?
I don't really like
the cinema much. I've actually got a beer here that's the proud sponsor of the Australian cricket team. Have you got an interest in cricket lately, Johnny?
I don't really know much about cricket, to be honest.
No, okay. What about F1 movies?
Yeah,
Johnny, if you had to go to a movie, like, and just like, let's say you had to go to a movie this week, what would you go watch, you reckon?
I don't know, probably just like some rom-com, probably. I don't really know what's on the movies these days, but
like, if out of anyone you had to choose, so let's say 3 people to take to the movie.
Just careful with what you choose to say.
Out of Jamie Riddle, Nick Thompson, Matthew Hauser, who are you taking to the movies with you?
Jamie Riddle, Matt Hauser.
You only get to pick one. Me.
Oh. I'd probably take Matt Hauser because I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Clever.
I would ask the question if I was stuck on a... Yeah, back it. No, actually, no, he doesn't care at all. I reckon I could ask the question if I was stuck on an island for a year or something, or like maybe the rest of my life, I can't really remember. Who would I pick, Nick Thompson or Matt Hauser? And I thought that was kind of a good question because, like, I think what he was trying to get at who's a better mate, right? And yeah, that's another discussion. But I looked at it really like I detailed this out. Yeah.
Clever.
Matt Hauser, I saw him snap his tri bars, and I feel like that's like a red flag. He can't build a tent for me. He can't do any mechanical work. Like I wouldn't trust him to do anything worthy of like building houses or like lighting a fire with stones. And then I thought like Nick. I feel like Nick is he's the one that I could probably turn into my bitch a bit easier.
I was your bike mechanic. You've seen me with bike mechanic.
You're my bike mechanic, and you're easier to turn into a bitch. Like
I'll be the little spoon. Hang
on. Let's not forget the fact that he is so unreliable. Like he'll forget that you exist and you'll die.
We don't need mics. We don't need microphones on a desert island, brother. So
we don't need microphones, no. But also, like, yeah, I think Nick is like the type of guy who would get lost on an island that has nowhere to go. Is that true?
That's coming from you.
That's actually true. I need to pick Matt. Hey.
I don't know. Like, he's a strong lad. What if you get attacked by monkeys? Johnny's got a good story about monkeys, actually.
Oh, the monkey story.
Yeah, from Ironman Malaysia.
Yeah. When I was doing Ironman Malaysia last year, I was out on the bike on my own, and I was in the island. Like I was on an island, Langkawi. It's basically like a jungle there. And I was about 60k into the bike course. There was no one around. I was going down this hill, and I saw ahead there was like a big pack of monkeys on the side of the road, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like those monkeys better not like try and cross the road when I'm coming down the hill at like 60k an hour. And as I'm getting closer to the monkeys, I'm on my tri bars, and I'm like, this could end pretty badly if I don't have my arms on the brakes just in case. This is looking really bad.
Couldn't have thought about that in another scenario.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
You couldn't have thought of...
Anyway, I'm trying to paint myself out that I could actually Anyway, so I'm getting towards the monkeys. It's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
I'm heading towards the monkeys, and I'm like, those motherfuckers better not come out. And I was getting to the bottom of the hill, and lo and behold, I see the group of monkeys decide that they want to migrate to the other side of the island.
That's pretty crazy.
Let me finish the story. And so I start seeing him, and I'm obviously going too quick, and I was like, I can't brake, because if I brake, then, or if I swerve, I'll crash. So I was like, the best thing I can do is just to like brace and make sure that I'm okay and safe. And that so happened to mean that I killed a baby monkey that was trailing behind its mother.
He squashed it.
It exploded. I was covered in monkey blood for the rest of the like 160 k's or whatever it was.
We're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna take a moment for the monkey because this is a tragedy.
Can you say a prayer?
3 seconds.
Prayer for the monkey.
I was
it's
honestly
gone to animal heaven. Yeah, let's just take 3 seconds, gents. All right, we're back. Pay respects to the monkey. That is actually yeah.
Can I just say, like, I was heavily remorseful throughout the whole bike leg. I remember when the pack came and joined me, and I was like, guys, I just killed a monkey. And they all looked at me, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, I literally just killed one. I'm covered in its blood.
You're trying to get sympathy from Ironman athletes, mate.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh, you know who he reminds me of? You remind me of that South African guy that wears the hoodie and the beanie and is like, bro, let's go out tonight. Let's go crazy. Let's have a few drinks. No, God is my friend. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, we're pulling it back. We're pulling it back. I know exactly who you talk. I know exactly who you're talking about because I've had that reel and that guy sent to me multiple times. So he's a good bloke. He's doing good. He's doing good in the world. Boys, Jonas Schomburg, tri bars, fell off.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
Johnny makes a good point with me. Chat.
ITU athletes or like people who race world triathlon races don't know how to assemble their bikes.
Let's create a list.
It's crazy. It's the third one, right?
Hauser? Sorry. But it happened. Jonas, Solvig in Hamburg. She's come from a short course background. Buy a fucking torque wrench. Do up your TT bars.
Yeah. But I must be honest, it was... No, I agree. I honestly don't know, but like, I saw Jonas on the side of the road there, and I just saw like the disappointment, man. This guy was in the running to win the damn Pro Series, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And he's like 4 minutes off the front of a race, and like he's just giving it his all, and it's and he just heading, and he can't. And that's the thing, like he can't even do Lake Placid. He didn't enter. Surely Ironman can make an exception and get him in.
Yeah. They're pretty fun. They're pretty funny with entries, but I think it's a smart call. We want to see the Ogg'cast wants to see Jonas Schomburg in Lake Placid.
Yeah, we want to see him win the Pro Series, man. He was looking really good as well, which is obviously super disappointing. And like going back to his Ironman South Africa performance, I really do think that was one of the greatest debuts. Like everything put aside. So like to see him off the front, like 4 minutes ahead of the second bunch, just like tearing it up, was really impressive. So yeah, it was super heartbreaking to see him on the side of. Are you guys following the race that side or no?
Yeah, we just saw the reel. Like even though he was snapped off, he was still riding on the base bars.
I was going to say this. I think his base bar, whatever the riser, was too high. It looked like it was like a 30-centimeter rise.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he a big boy? He's tall.
He's a big boy, but I reckon
extremely tall, but extremely skinny. Extremely tall and extremely skinny. But yeah, I don't know. I was chatting to him because I'm good friends with Jonas, and I was chatting to him quite a bit during the race week, and he was telling me like he's on. Like he it takes a lot for Jonas to really go out on a limb and say he's on. And he was telling me like I'm on, and I just kept saying please be patient, and he was like, yeah, I'll be patient, man, and then he wasn't being patient. But it would have been interesting to see how he went. One thing that I want to talk about, man, is I'm gonna be honest. Like I try sometimes play this. I'm not a triathlon geek guy, but I am a bit of a triathlon geek. I do tune into some podcasts. The pro try and use the triathlon hour. The typical triathlon podcast. Oh man, I don't know. It's starting to get like, yeah, I don't know. It's the overview of the races is not that exciting. I feel like if it's the job of these podcasts to really like dive into the races, like I feel like I'll do something right now. I'll go out on a limb. The Triathlon Hour with Jack Keeley hosts it with Justin Riale, someone Carlos or Ariane Carlos, or I don't know how to say his name, and Greg Harper. Did you hear they called Ironman cans? They were like, instead of Ironman cans, it should be called Iron Meh cans because it was a meh start list. Did you hear that?
Yeah. We're pretty shit. Hey,
I challenge Justin, the man, I can't pronounce your name, and Greg Harper to a race. We can go mano a mano, like straight up, just us four, and Nick, you can join in, us five, and we can go you guys versus us, and let's see who's Iron Man after that. No.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just full respect, American mindset. They're patriotic. They love their country, and they think that maybe the racing outside of there is not important. But yeah, I don't know. Like, the reality is, America is not the center of triathlon. Look at who the top 10 will be in Frankfurt by the end of today, and I guarantee you the 10 will be Europeans. So, that we're saying
Rudy's looking dangerous, but he is kind of French if we get down to the crux of it.
Yeah, like let's. This is a topic for another episode. But Rudolf von Berg is the least sounding American name I've ever heard in my life. So you cannot claim him.
Yeah, we're about to catch so much heat for this, and no, I met Justin in the T1 in San Francisco, and he's such a sound gentleman. To those guys, I'm just taking the piss, and I think this is what we should do, bro. This is the UFC Pro Panel. Yeah. I mean, now we got a matchup. We got a little bit of, but yeah, I think it's wild to call an Ironman cans Iron Meh. I mean, yeah, we can be the first ones to say that Ironman cans is not Frankfurt. Like it definitely is not the start list. This is the best Ironman start list I've ever seen. I would say ever, regardless of all champs. Like this is probably the best start list I've ever seen. Now Nice is going to trump that because the sport is getting more progressive and stronger. It's essentially we just need to get the guys from Cairns that are racing Cairns into the race, and like a few guys that missed this and are targeting Lake Placid. But like I don't know. That did frustrate me, and it's like, and then you got the host that's not really like budging in, and it's like, how do you develop the sport of triathlon if you're not giving kudos where kudos is deserved? And it's taking me out the race completely. I don't care about me. Like I'm talking like you gotta like look at the races objectively and really talk about the races. There's lots of moving stories. There's lots of moving parts, and like I just feel like I would like to encourage those podcasts to really like get that spark back for the triathlon. Like, you know, you need to talk about it with passion. And like, it's sometimes, I don't know, I don't want to say sad for me to hear like them brush over performances or just be like, oh, I wasn't that interested in it. Like, oh, this was not great or this was not great. It's like, can we try be a bit more optimistic? Like, have we ever seen this much good racing in 1 year?
Yeah, especially in Australia, like it's an improvement. But you know what used to be, speaking of the beef in triathlon, you know it used to be interesting back in the day. It used to be interesting every time Lionel Sanders posted. I don't know if you remember. Every time Lionel Sanders posted on Instagram, you know who was in the comments ripping into him. We still don't know whether it was fake or not. Do you remember?
No.
Cameron Worth. And that was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
In fact,
I like Worthy.
This was like 7 years ago. Every time Sanders would post, Worth was just ripping into him, and even
Talbot was like defending him.
Yeah,
bro, you don't understand. Like
Talbot was, because
Lionel could outride you any day of the week.
But yeah, that was funny. And people, I feel like there's been more like fake beef this year. Has Morgan Pearson started? What about the Sam Long, Sam Laidlow's? No, Sam Long, Sam Laidlow stuff from a few years ago. Do you remember that when he walked out of the interview?
That's I was there. I was actually in because that doubled up as the Collins Cup and the Long Course World Championships. I was actually there, and that was legit. That was actually legit. But that kind of brushed over, and it's like the problem in triathlon is if you say anything, you're gonna kind of catch some heat because I don't know. It's like Ironman. We underestimate how large the triathlon audience is, and how like. Wait, why are we laughing?
Oh, mate, look how fucking sweaty I am. This is ridiculous.
Take it off.
No, I'm not taking it off.
Take it off.
I might just pop this one on.
Take it off.
This one on Patreon.
I'm gonna pop this
Take it off. No, but getting back to what we were talking about, it's like I think we underestimate how large the Ironman audience is because we got audience from like the south of Mexico and the north of France and like the flipping Russia, and we got this Ironman enthusiasts from all over. Even what we're saying now, like the stuff that we're saying, which we meaning out of no disrespect to anyone, we're still probably going to catch some heat for it, but whatever. That is what it is.
Yeah. Or no one even listens to this podcast and we have no heat. So
yeah,
that can always be a possibility too.
Boys, I don't know. Like the reception after the first the podcast after the first episode, people vibed with it. People liked it, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted to hear a lot more from me. Actually, I think there was a few comments there on YouTube.
Well, let's talk about it, dude.
I've got a question to ask Johnny.
No, you don't.
Questions, but every time every time we want to ask Johnny something, he's like, "No, we can't talk about that because that is this. No, we can't talk about that because that is this."
About my dating life.
You don't do triathlon, so we have to talk about something.
Wait,
your dating life. Okay, fine. Where do you work?
I've got a good one.
I've got a good
one. So, I want you. This is what I've been interested in. I want to know about your rowing, the rowing that you're doing at the gym.
Yeah.
Can you like tell you
a little bit more about it?
Like what a session is? Who's that? Red Bull. Daniel.
boy.
Daniel.
Come on. I want to know about I genuinely want to know, mate. I'm being sincere. Tell me about your rowing.
And you know what, Johnny? I'm also sincere, and we're gonna segue this. Honestly, there's athletes that are listening to this while they're on their bike and they're training, and that's great. They're in the zone, and thank you for listening. I hope you're having a good giggle, or not. I don't know. But there's some athletes that are injured, bro, and you got a rowing regime that you need to share with the listeners, bro.
I do.
It sounds fucking hard as well. So sorry for my language.
Thanks.
So you guys get more closer in so that it looks good for the reel.
Yeah, so at the moment, obviously, I can't do any cardio other than rowing or ski erg. So I actually got a message from the Paralympic head coach in Australia for rowing, he flicked me a message. We ended up catching up. He hooked me up with a training program, and I've been doing a 12-week rowing crash course. So I've been training 3 times a week on the rowing erg, and it's really fucking hard and boring. So I'm
actually have genuine questions about this. I actually have genuine questions about this that I think a lot of people will be interested in. We and everyone listening to this are triathlon obsessed. And I think what really makes triathlon beautiful is the ability to all share the same experiences in one way or another. And I think we sometimes like to believe that we are so far removed from most sports that like other sports don't experience what we go through. You being a really high level triathlete as a like whatever under 23 and then kind of like making that comeback just before you had your crash, because like I mean I'll be the first to say like we did a brick session with Johnny the 2 weeks before Buster, and Johnny was on like he was on pace with me, and I went to go come second in the Pro Series race. So Johnny experiencing triathlon in its entirety and the struggles and the demons that come with triathlon. And now, obviously, we can make jokes about it like rowing regime. Do you see parallels and do you experience the same lows that you once experienced? And taking your injury and the struggles mentally about your injury, I'm talking specifically the training, like having to go there. Obviously, it's not as many hours, but that's something I'm actually interested in.
I think being an athlete before this, or at least experiencing it as an athlete, I feel like has helped my mindset quite a bit. Like, I know that, when I was training, I was able to get up every single morning and complete a session. And it's just like built into my brain. And I've just sort of like applied that same logic to rowing. I'm like, I'm going to still get up in the morning and I'm going to go to training, and I don't care that I'm shit. I don't care that I'm, unfit. I'm like, this is still better than doing nothing. Yeah. So if I can do rowing, that's something. And so that means a lot to me. So I'm just going to keep grinding it out.
And would you say like, I hear what you're saying. I think I think what I'm hearing is there's like you have this background in triathlon that has taught you so much grit and so much just get up and do it. But it also sounds like you have this like newfound perspective in life, obviously, because there was a moment you were gonna be legless. And has like the two come into like this newfound like appreciation? Because I think the way I asked the question was really trying to understand, like, like there's days when Nick and I will have a 3-hour ride and we'll hate every single second of it, and you kind of avoided like going into that, and your mind immediately went to like, I'm gonna get up and do this because I can do this, and I know it's good for me. Do you think that perspective changed from your accident is the crux of that?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I was in hospital at its peak, like all I ever wanted to do, like after this point, was just to be able to like get out of bed, just like do anything.
Yeah.
And so like I would have given anything just to go for a ride or to like just do something. Like it's just you have a newfound perspective for sure. Like yeah, we're lucky. I feel like I'm lucky, so you guys are even luckier. So like, when you're going out training, think of the people that can't do it at all.
I've
and when
I have 2 more questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you go.
I have 2 more questions, and we're still in the deep vibes, but I think it's good. I think it's sometimes good to go there. 2 more questions for you, because last night I was out, and I don't know I don't know what it is about South Africa, man, because I genuinely don't see this in any other country, and I don't see this with any other athlete. Like, I feel very privileged. Like, I will get asked for photos or have interactions wherever I go in South Africa. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm in the gas station of the middle of nowhere. Like, people do know who I am or what I'm trying to do. It's a very cool country in that sense. And last night I was having a conversation with a guy. I think his name was Matthew. Shout out Matthew. He listens to our pods and stuff. And he was talking to me about like the motivation. Like, how do I have this motivation? And like I was giving my answer, which I think for the listener would like to hear, is like my motivation is like, what I did is I kind of went to my why, but that wasn't enough. Like to give my why wasn't enough. Like I had to now break down my why. So how I explained it to him is like, you got to be very blunt with what your why is. So let's say, for example, I say my why is to be the best athlete in the world. Okay, well, let's break that down. Why do I want to be the best athlete in the world? Is it because my childhood I was an outcast, or is it because I feel like I need to have something to prove, or is it because like I have a higher ego? Like really on answering some hard questions. And then like once you get those questions, like go a bit deeper until you can get like to the real like root of it. And then once you get to the root of it, I try stem my why bigger than myself to like try and help, because I really need to be intrinsically motivated. But then like while I was talking to him, like the fact of because I can, why is because I can do it, or I have the ability to do it, why is that just not enough? And I think talk on that, like talk on like, dude, it is actually because we've all been injured for like a few weeks, right? And even in those few weeks, you feel like you're gonna go insane, and all you want to do is go for a run. Like, man, I can't imagine those 3, 4 months. How long did it end up being? Probably 6 months, no?
Well, it's been 3 months in hospital, and then I probably won't be able to walk fully for like another year. So it's probably the longest injury ever.
Yeah.
But
with like no, there's not even a certain.
No,
you get this when you recover. There's no you get to run when you recover. It's like Wednesday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's just like a newfound appreciation for the small things and being grateful for what you have. Spending time in a wheelchair sort of gave me a good appreciation of just being able to like be upright, and it's tough out there.
No, good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I think that's a good shout for everyone to like, that's listening to the podcast. Like there's lots of people that listen to pods while training, and like sometimes when they listen to a pod, it's because they're actually not enjoying what the current moment they're in, so they're trying to distract themselves. But I think if someone's listening to this while training or while they're about to go train, is like, just remember you can. Like you literally can. There's people that can't. The last question I have for you that's pretty deep, and then we can move on to something else if you want, is and I know we joke about this a lot. We know that I'm a big faith guy. I do believe that Jesus is Lord, and I know that sometimes you guys don't share that same belief. But and that's cool. But I like to have conversations like this because I want to know, like often what you find in real hard times, like not only did you almost lose your leg, like there was a chance that like this could go even worse. No, did you have did you have questions about not the afterlife, but did it make you search deeper into, not even saying like is there a God, or like I want to know, did you have any like deeper spiritual questions that was just like, oh, like what is all this worth, or what happens? And if it's too deep, you don't have to say, but like I would love to hear your perspective on that.
I think I didn't think about. I don't think I thought about God specifically, but I thought about it in the sense that like I felt like I've been chosen. Like I felt like, why me? Like why was I the one that had this crash? Like I'm not a shit bike handler. Like I've never experienced a crash like that in my life, and it just so happened to happen, and it happened at like the peak of my, you know, performance, like peak of my triathlon career. I feel like it was a good time, and you just question, why me? What have I done? And you do sort of like think about there being, some sort of influence out there. And you do ask yourself like, what's the point of like pushing through this as well? Like when everything got really hard, it was sort of like I just want to give up. I just want to turn it in. And that was like really at the point of where I was at my lowest, and I think I did an Instagram post at that time. And it was just like questioning, why am I here, and why did it happen to me? That's probably
And I
as
can only
deep as
assume that's yeah, no, that's cool, man. And I think that's awesome. And I think like and I can only assume that that post that you put out, like probably is to this day probably your most loved post. And like I think some people get this mixed, and this is again for talking from my belief. Like it's sometimes people struggle to deal with the idea that there's a God in such an unjust world and in such an unfair world. But for remembering that this world is ours for the taking, and we have the freedom to choose if we want to believe in God. Like God, I think God's not sitting up there and saying you have to pick me, you have to love me, and I don't think God is putting anyone in hell. I think He's just saying, here's a world, you have the freedom to choose. It's going to be unjust. It's going to be tough love. But it is what you make of it, and it is sad because you see some terrible things. But I think, as an encouragement from a brother of yours, I think that your life is going to be a testimony in a whether you want to take it in a spiritual or absolutely not spiritual way, just to be like a light in the world, man. I think your life has so much purpose and like drive behind it to like really make a movement and change a lot of people's lives, because now you have the ability to speak to so much more people. So keep tapping into that deeper side, even though it is like not favored in Australia, should I say. But there's a lot of people around the world that are tuning in South Africa. I know we deep boys, but yeah, we can segue out of that. I think it is good to get deep sometimes, but yeah.
That's
Nick, how you
good.
feeling? You
Yeah.
uncomfortable?
No, I'm actually honestly, like, I don't know, like 5 minutes ago, I was actually getting quite emotional.
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't entirely remember what exactly he was saying, but yeah, it's nice. Thank you for sharing. Obviously you went through that. Jamie, have some. Obviously, not everyone shares your deeper understanding of what made this and this, but I think it's a nice perspective to have. And yeah, I suppose we took a little bit of a different turn, but also I'm inspired. And actually, one thing I will say is, for anyone out there listening while they're training, or they're like, "Fuck, I don't want to go train right now." I remember one thing that I was told. I was told a few times by a friend in Perth who had gone through an accident as well. His name's Simon. He told me, he said, the next time you're out training or racing and you feel uncomfortable, and this is while Johnny was in hospital, he said Johnny would kill to feel this kind of discomfort now versus what he's feeling in the hospital, and it's true. Like, I assume,
Yeah.
you would have fucking killed to feel some sort of like lactic acid burn in your legs from pushing in biking pools or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
Oh, boys, I'm
and
getting
it's funny.
goosebumps.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's sometimes
It is true,
it's
yeah.
hard to like remove yourself and remember those thoughts because you get caught up in emotions. But and I remember I was doing the Australian Road Cycling Nationals, and I was dropped from the main group, and I was riding with Simon, and we had about 80K to go, and he was like, he's French. He's French. So I'm gonna do a French accent. He was like, "Come on, Nick, 2 hours to go. Johnny would kill for this." And I remember at that time I was like,
Oh.
"Fuck, don't say that. Like, I just want to quit. I just want to quit." But the fact that he said that, like, he's it's so hard in the moment, but he's like spot on.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's
No,
probably
that was
right, I suppose.
golden. That's golden, man. Like I remember I got really, not even food poisoning, like it was severe like virus, and I got put in hospital for it in like the early January, like 2 3 days. And I got put in hospital and I was in a bed, and I was put on a trip, like, and I felt like I was gonna die, like you always feel like your situation's the worst in the world. And that was like in the thick of what you were going through, Johnny. And I remember sending you a message at that time, and I was stuck in hospital for 3 days, bro. 3 days. And I literally felt like I was in prison. I literally looked out the window. I was like, what? Like, how is this man doing this for three
Yeah.
whole months? It is. Oh man, I think it's always good to take some appreciation, to take some gratitude. I don't know if boys know, but my whole story started when my brother died from a drug overdose and was 6 weeks in a coma. And like, um, that was kind of the whole start of my father's journey, our spiritual journey as a family, and all these sorts of things. So I think like it's so sad that things have to happen. So like the person listening to this, I think a note to take away is like, don't wait for something to happen in your life to really start appreciating moments. Like, you can start appreciating moments from today. Like, I'm a big morning routine guy, and it's nothing crazy, but I always try make sure I like start the day with a bit of gratitude. Otherwise, hey, I see you laughing, Nick.
No,
Keep it
no,
in.
I thought you were about to like throw in something about nose trips or calorie AI or infrared there. Sorry.
They don't pay. They don't pay for the podcast. They don't pay for the
Sorry.
podcast. But for
Sorry.
real, boys, let's just take a moment. Christian Hogan, and I know this is probably going out after the race has been announced, but Christian Hogan is off the bike with like a 7.5 minute lead while stopping to fix. It looked like the gear issues. So Christian Hogan, let's just take him a second. 3:52.
Yeah.
Three
No, what?
fifty-two, boys.
It's a 175k bike course, but still, it's very hilly. That is very impressive. Very impressive.
3:52, 7.5 minutes in front of the GOAT cyclist, Magnus Ditlev. I've cycled, Nick, we cycled behind this man in Bustleton. This guy is an absolute powerhouse. And I don't know, bro, we might be seeing the shock of a long time. If Christian's a decent runner. He can run, I feel like he can run a 240,
Yeah,
right?
he can. Yeah. It's actually really interesting. Look at the top three. Danish. Christian, Magnus, Daniel. So
What's in the water?
we've had a mate, Reece Harris. He's been spending some time in Denmark, and he says the wind is unlike anything else. So they build him strong up in Denmark.
Yeah. Oh, he looks
Obviously.
good, boys. He looks good. I think we can all attest to coming off, like, there's so many telltale signs coming off the bike in an Ironman that are very, very obvious. And to me, he looks incredibly good. And guys like this, like Christian Hogan, like let's just roll it back to last year. I don't remember exactly. I think he came fourth or fifth in the Pro Series. Missed the consistency. Guys like this are those guys that, they're not going to put down a 232, but he's almost always going to be between 238 and 242. And I'm really guessing, I don't know enough about triathlon, but he is Mr. Consistency. And like 7.5 minutes on a Magnus is probably a 234 runner at best. Like, bro, this could be Christian Hoganar's day to take down Christian Blumenfeld, Patrick Lang, Gustav Eden, Daniel Bakkergaard. Like, the list goes on and on. This is going to be sick.
Yeah, I suppose by the time we post this podcast later
It's
on,
all
we'll
over.
already know. But
Yeah.
just a quick one from me. I've had so much beer, I need to go to the toilet. So give me 30 seconds, lads. You guys just continue. I'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah, and then once you're back, we'll probably wrap it up. We're almost at an hour, but I think what'll be cool is, like, obviously because the race is going to be wrapped up by the time everyone hears this. So I think like we can segue into, like, you didn't get to do a full marathon, but like, oh, bro, this feeling of running out and knowing you have 42.2 kilometers, like, to try and find ways to stay in the moment is the hardest thing ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's the hardest thing ever, bro. I have.
I know because I fucking walked a marathon at the end of the Malaysia bike. I walked like a good portion of it. I was fucked. I was like,
what do you?
Partly because of the heat, humidity, but it was cooked.
Not a full
I know
Ironman,
how
eh?
long. What's that?
Not a full Ironman.
Yeah, full Ironman.
You did a full?
Yeah.
Oh, damn! I didn't even know.
Yeah,
Didn't even know. No, it's rough, man. Like, and I can only imagine for age groupers, bro. Like, we out there for 2.5 to 2 hours 45. Like, I mean, to be out there for like 4 hours. Nick, I want to ask you, man. Like, we were just talking about getting off the bike and having to run 42.2 kilometers. Where does your mind go? Is it always the same place when you get off the bike? Where does your mind go? I want tips.
I think normally I'll try and break it down. It's actually been a while since I've done an Ironman that I haven't been to before. So I've actually been lucky that the last two that I've done, I've done them before. So it's good like that. But It's hard. It's hard, especially now that you've got me after a few beers. Like, I can't even remember what I was thinking. I think I'll probably try and think back to my worst, like my mindset of my worst marathon, which was in Kona. Like, I kid you not. So at a transition in Kona, like, you get out of the tent. Firstly you're in the tent, and all the volunteers in Kona, they're like coming up to you, throwing ice on you. It's awesome, and then you step out into the sun and you run up Palani Drive, and you're just like, oh my god, this is going to be the longest 3 hours of my life. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's helped me most in like my poor marathons, or at least when I'm not feeling smooth, is you kind of just find a way to change your movement, and you just find a way to keep as long as you keep swinging your legs forward, you're gonna get to the end. And yeah, I suppose we should probably ask Johnny.
Well, I was going to say, when I was doing Malaysia, the marathon, I broke it down to aid stations. I was like, okay, the next aid station, I'm fucking walking through this, and I'm taking as much shit as I can. I was literally doing like, take the whole Coke bottle, shove it down
which age groupers relate to more? Which age groupers relate to more? I think, sometimes when we talk, like Nick's talking, like they will walk through aid stations. I mean, I walk through every aid station in Cairns, so I think they relate to that more than like being able to break it down 10K, 10K. Because I think I described it on my recap. It's like I for the first time ever, like, I kind of experienced two different Ironmans that were very vastly different. Like, one was like felt like a great day, and the other one was like, it was still a good, better performance in Cairns, but it was a lot more, like, I don't know, difficult. And I described it as like a flow state, but you get two types of flow state. You get one flow state when you're in a barrel, right? And you're down the barrel, it's all good, you're looking down the barrel, nothing in the world is around you, and you're just enjoying, and you're going, and the momentum's coming. And that's the great flow state, which I experienced in South Africa when I was catching fourth place and the whole crowd was behind me. Then you've got the flow state on the other side, again, surfing, where you're big wave surfing and you're looking down the 60-foot wave and you're just staring death in the eyes. And that kind of felt like in Cairns, where I just felt like I was in this flow state where I was just like staring death in the eyes. And I think, like, both of them, similar things happen. Like, you kind of just forget, your mind goes so numb that you're just doing what you're doing. You actually don't know what you're doing. You're just like, I need to just keep running. That's all. I just need to keep running. What else am I going to do? Stop? Nah, like, I'm just going to keep running. Magnus is off the bike. Christian Hogan Hog has had a time penalty, it looks like. I don't have the thing on, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like what you said, it's sometimes hard to put your finger on how to tackle an Ironman if you are in a flow state, because it just becomes so automatic. Whether it's a good day or a bad day,
it's a day.
There's so much going on. There's so much to unpack. It's not something you think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe as we do more Ironmans, it's something that we understand.
We'll learn. Two more things, and we're wrapping this up because it's getting long.
Yeah.
The first thing is, how many beers is okay in a training, like for us? How many beers would you consume in a training week that you feel like, in a good training week, like not the week that I just had? That was a fan question that I highlighted. Johnny?
I reckon like 3 or 4 pints on a Friday night is fine.
Yeah, once a week, 3 or 4 pints, you reckon?
Yeah.
I would say the same. Like, one beer, like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Like, come on, we're flirting with greatness. Two beers, like, we're now on the cusp. You have to get to 4 to really do the due diligence of the bezzers. So I reckon 3 to 4 pints on like a day. If you can, preferably consume them between like a lunchtime thing, so you can still get that HRV going during the night. Like, that's where you really now we're making those marginal gains. But I think that is kind of my drinking strategy. I kind of do my Sunday 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 4 pints, maybe 5 if I'm being a bit naughty.
Yeah. I agree.
Again,
Is there a big
boys, talking point. Sorry, I have to say this. It looks like Magnus Ditlev, Daniel Bakkegaard, Casper Stornes all sitting together, and they all put the Pumas on, bro.
The Pumas.
No way.
The Puma pants.
They've all switched up. They've all switched up. But I will say, talking out of experience, and people would like to hear this, the Pumas are, I believe, the fastest shoe right now on the circuit, give or take. I mean, the stuff is all wishy-washy, but you stand a chance of coming to a walk. Your feet get absolutely munched in them. I am still not able to walk. I am on borderline stress reaction from these things. They are really, really sore. They're really, really sore, bro. But that's interesting.
Don't get that with Hokas, do you?
No, so the Hokas are comfy. So I think it'd be it's interesting that you pick this up, because it'd be interesting to see if in an hour or so if someone's struggling in terms of comfort for the marathon. So
yeah, but they're much more prepared than me, bro. I didn't train in mine. I just ran the marathon, so I'm dumb.
Yeah, but I also think the likelihood of any of them having done a marathon off the bike and training is pretty low. Don't you reckon?
No, fair enough. But I literally did. I did 18 Ks in my Pumas before the marathon, which is definitely not enough. But we'll see. Boys, we're not even going to do our predictions because it doesn't actually matter because the result's going to be done out already. But DB is looking strong. Thank you for an amazing episode. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on?
We need to go back and
the hoodie draw.
Oh yeah. I have the spinning wheel.
Nick has put in all the comments in. Has put in all you can basically say they had to comment 3 times. You can almost say that they had to be following the account. There was about 20 to 30 story shares that got 10 extra entries, which I screenshotted and sent it to Nick. This we were prepared for, guys. Ogging Sports, the hoodie is unreal. Honestly, I live in mine. That one that Nick's got is the new drop. It is so sick. It looks like vintage style. It's cropped hoodie.
Should we do a drum roll?
Yeah, Johnny, bro, you did really good with these.
He did a great job.
Thank you.
Let me just get on the Raffle Draw website. Here we go. All right. So we've got. You probably can't even see it. We've got 357 options on the spinning wheel. Obviously, the people that entered via the story get their name in there.
Bro.
Just spin it.
Just go. Just spin it, dog. No one cares. We're here for an hour. Just go, bro.
It's spinning. It's spinning.
They believe you. Just fucking read it out.
We believe you.
Can we see that? Jamie,
if that's your name.
Can you see it?
What? No, I can't see it. Read it. Is that?
Zach Deacon.
Zach Deacon. If your name's Zach Deacon.
Legend, boy.
Zach Deacon.
Yeah, absolute legend. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for, I don't know, just shut up. Let's end this. Bye.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well done, Zach.
Yeah.